Abu Laith. Welcome to another episode of the Wandering Middle Eastern Teacher. So, thankfully, some of the corona restrictions have finally lifted and we are able to do our first video on location. So, this one is part 2, so seeing our earlier video on Istanbul. So today we are in beautiful Antalya on the Mediterranean coast of Turkey. So see beautiful blue water behind me. So this town is a pretty ancient town. Its roots go back even before the time of the Romans. But you will see a lot of Roman buildings still in the city to this day. So even right behind me is a Roman watchtower. They aren't exactly sure what the purpose of it is, but if you can see right in the edge, back behind the watchtower, there's a harbor, and that harbor has been there since the time of the Romans. So that watchtower, they think, probably was kind of guarding the harbor from that time. So that's your introduction, and come along and see some other sites throughout this city. The city of Antalya is kind of divided up into 3 main places that tourists stay. One is the Old Town. So we're standing in Old Town now, and it does really feel old. Lots of winding streets, cobblestone everywhere, lots of restaurants, bars, hotels, and this is definitely where the nightlife happens. Parties, pubs, music until late at night, multiple times a week. So if that's your scene, this is definitely the place you want to see and stay. But there really isn't a beach close by, walking distance-wise. There's one private beach that'll cost 40 Turkish lira a day, and you'll get a towel, a bed, and an umbrella for that. But it is private and very small beach. Not really sand, just enough space for the chair and then to get into the water. So the other 2 options, Antalya has a long beach, a rock, small pebble beach, and that's the more popular option. A lot of the more bigger U.S. brands, international brands, have hotels down there. Old Town and Antalya Beach are connected by antique tram system, so you can fairly easily travel between them for not much cost. And then the third option is Laura Beach. So that's a little bit further outside the city, about 9 kilometers. Transportation-wise, if you stayed there, there are lots of beach clubs, but it's a little bit harder to get to other places, get into Old Town or the others. It would cost you a lot in taxis. So if you're thinking more of the Laura Beach, you probably just need to kind of hang out in that neighborhood, unless you just want to spend a lot in taxis. Quick history lesson. So Turkey is on the Anatolian Peninsula that has had civilizations for thousands of years, 3,000-4,000 years. So what's behind me right now is called Hadrian's Gate. So this was built in 130 AD to celebrate the Roman Emperor. And this is kind of the pinnacle, the high point of the Roman Empire. The most land that they controlled, all the way from the border between England and Scotland down here. And so this has been the center of civilization, the mix of East and West. And Antalya, Turkey would be home to Roman Empire, then the Byzantines, and then various Turkic empires, and then finally the Ottoman Empire. So, enjoy this. It's still standing, beautiful, after almost 2,000 years. And this is the central square in Antalya. So there's some archaeological digging, excavation going on the right. And then this little squat building is an 18th century minaret that burned down. So it's called the Truncated Mosque. And that's all that's left of the fire. Then in front of us is another stone gate
Roman entrance to the city. And then to the side, can you just make it out from here, is the fluted minaret. Has a very interesting style. If you look, it's not smooth all around. It's got kind of grooves like individual pistons or columns. And then the last interesting thing in this kind of collection of buildings is there is a clock tower. Let's see, coming just around the corner. So it's kind of nice, especially if you're coming from the Middle East. There's green everywhere, parks everywhere in the city. So that's pretty nice. So right up ahead is the Roman clock tower. Obviously, that clock that is in it now is not original, not what the Romans built, but still pretty impressive structure to last all these years. So this is city center of Antalya. So behind is going to play several pictures just as we took on the trip, things that I've talked about, and just so you can get a sense of here, again, the old city, old town part, roaming the streets. So the food here, if you eat in the old town part, it's going to be pretty expensive and a lot of seafood, a lot of Western food. But if you just cross the main road right by Hadrian's Gate, to the other side, you can find a lot more local food, a lot more Turkish food that's substantially cheaper. But it's up to you and what you're looking for. But again, like I said in the first video, this is a great time to visit Turkey because the economy is still struggling. So that is very good for people coming from somewhere else. Everything is pretty cheap and affordable. We had lots of meals for a family of 3 that were under $5. And that is really hard to do anywhere else in the world. But it is definitely a beautiful place and a place you should check out. Be aware that if you come in summer, the sun is pretty powerful, and you will definitely need to lather up in sunscreen. Hope all of this has helped and you enjoy your time in Antalya. As always, I am Abu Laith. Thanks for joining on this episode. Stay tuned for our next one where we talk about the logistics of getting around in Turkey and what it takes to get to Turkey and to leave there. So check us out next time. Ma salama.